Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Domeiere, and today I want to talk to you about something very near and dear to my heart, that is, of animal harassment. Now you might remember me from those shows when I teamed up with those guys who had their own fishing shows, but then together we made a new fishing show because with my research permit we can now go fishing for great white sharks. Oh yeah, the ratings were high for that one. People tuned in to see a great white shark fighting on a line and being hauled onto a boat. Ironically, that's the exact type of behavior that being protected was supposed to protect those animals from. Yes, in case you didn't know, they're already protected, but that doesn't stop me from using the excuse of protecting these animals to go out and continue fucking them up. I'm sorry, did I say that? I mean, not harassing them. Don't you worry, we made sure to put the label science, research, and education all over it, so everything's fine. See this shark on the deck of the boat next to me? I'm saving it. Forget the fact that it was swimming around just fine before I got here. I need to hook it in the mouth, fight it to exhaustion, pull it up onto the deck of a boat, shove some shit up inside of it, drill holes in its fin and bolt something onto it, and all of this is so that I can make sure that no one goes out there and harasses it. Now I know what you're thinking, shouldn't I be getting that shark back in the water? Well, I got at least 5 minutes more of this monologue. The shark needs to sit on the deck of the boat for that because it makes for good television. I'm here to raise your awareness of people like Juan and Ocean Ramsey who are out there terrorizing our wildlife. They are nothing but showboaters that don't care about animals at all. Forget about the fact that they have an ecotourism company that teaches people about sharks and have literally, physically rescued 2 great whites that were entangled in fishing rope. Forget about the fact that I helped kill 2 white sharks down in Guadalupe, and then I went on and killed another 2 up at the Farallones. But I'm a scientist. Wait, what's that? Ocean Ramsey is also a marine biologist? Well, I have a PhD. Forget the fact that I wrote my dissertation on sea bass and now go out tagging great whites. Same thing, really. But in Guadalupe with my buddy Chris Fisher, we killed at least 2 great white sharks. You won't see that on TV, but you can ask any of the cameramen that used to work with us and they'll tell you. We then moved on and killed 2 great white sharks up at the Farallon Islands. And that's when I first came across this funny looking little man, David Why Sharks Matter Schiffman of Southern Fried Science, who has been declaring his opinion as irrefutable fact since his very first biology class ever. In this case, he came to our rescue. He assured everyone that the shark with a broken jaw, who was now emaciated and then was never heard from again, had nothing to do with the fact that we broke the jaw of that same shark and fought it for an hour and a half before it sunk away. Listen, people, there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that we had anything to do with that shark's death. Ignore the fact that it was coming around before we got there and then was never seen afterwards, and that all the injuries that it was seen to have match everything that we did to it. But Dr. David Schiffman said none of that is evidence supporting that we killed that shark, so we're in the clear. After that, Chris Fisher broke up with me, and I joined up with another shark fisherman, Keith Poe, also known as the Mako Mangler. But now that he's with me, we get to call ourselves both conservationists. Cameramen working for Discovery will tell you that watching these guys fish for the sharks will make you cringe. But don't worry, once again, it's for science. What's that? Do I get in the water with sharks? Hell no. I don't actually understand sharks. I just attach shit to them and then write papers. I prefer looking at sharks while I'm on deck with the boat with them laying there next to me. Little side note, if you want to support my research, you can pay to go on one of my research trips, and if you photograph and identify a new shark, you can pay me for the right to name that shark. And then I'll take your photos, put them in a book, and then I'll sell that book. Because after all, those sharks belong to me. I did brand them. Tag them. Now, before I release this shark on the deck back into the water, let's just check the score here. These shark harassers over in Hawaii have rescued at least 2 white sharks and teach thousands of people every year to perceive sharks in a new way. While I have killed at least 4 sharks, and by the way, I declared during the campaign that a 25% mortality was acceptable, so you can't criticize me for killing those sharks. I said it was expected and acceptable. My research papers have done absolutely nothing to increase protection for these white sharks, but some of my data and Schiffman's data has shown that you should not fish for sharks because they die later on. Even if you don't see them die right in front of you, they die later. But that's not going to stop me from continuing to fish for them because I've got papers to write and TV shows to be on. In closing, killing sharks is conserving sharks, but touching sharks is hurting sharks. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember, don't think for yourself. I'm a scientist. I tell you what you should think.